Digimon referencing Alfred Hitchcock is a string of words I never in a million years thought I would be saying, but here we are with episode 7 of the new horror-themed Digimon series Ghost Game being sort of a spin on The Birds, one of the most famous horror thriller films of all time. But The Birds homage wasn't the only takeaway this week. We also saw winter outfits for all of the new main characters, including 2 of the Digimon, saw a brand new champion evolution make its animation debut, and we kind of got an adult Digimon Tamer, a human adult who was working in collaboration with a Digimon as the villainous duo of the week. Lots to unpack, lots to love, lots of things to think about with how both the human and the Digimon antagonist flee at the end of this episode. Are the various villains of the season going to team up Sinister Six style in a future episode or future arc? We'll have to wait a few more episodes to see what Ghost Game has planned for us. So welcome back to the Digino. We're back to our regularly scheduled programming. I was away in New York last week and I picked up a few things like this awesome Omegamon figure in my travels. And listen, if you love anime merch like I do, but traveling just isn't in the cards for you right now, I should really tell you about Buyee, who is the founding sponsor of the Digino. Buyee is this amazing online proxy service where you can browse Japanese storefronts like Amazon, JP, and Rakuten. You tell them what you want to order and they order it for you and ship it to you anywhere in the world. So whether that's anime figures, Japan exclusive games, the Vital Bracelet, whatever else, Buyee has your back. And in particular, if you're a viewer of the Digino, they really have your back, because when you sign up to Buyee for the first time through my custom link in the description, you'll be getting a 2,000 yen credit, basically $20 US, just for being a fan of my channel. So thank you again, Buyee, for sponsoring this video. Remember, a 2,000 yen credit is waiting for anyone who signs up via my link in the description. Okay, now on with the rest of the review. This week, our eerie event to kick off the episode is a young girl, one of Rudy's friends, returning to her dorm room to find that her pet bird has been kidnapped by a murder of crows that broke into the room. We learn that both wild birds in town and a mysterious human male adult Daigo are working for this gigantic bird Digimon Yatagaramon. And I know you might be thinking the name Daigo sounds familiar. That was Tai and the gang's high school teacher in Digimon Adventure Tri, who ended up being one of the original Digidestined, the generation before Taichi and the gang in the 1999 canon. But there's no relation to that Daigo. Daigo is just a very fairly common Japanese name, so rest easy there, theory crafters. No multiverse nod happening here. In the intro and possibly the video title, I called Daigo a kind of Digidestined / Digimon Tamer, and he isn't a 100% Tamer with a Digivice and the power to help his Digimon Digivolve and all that usual stuff, obviously, but still, this is a human character partnered with a digital monster in a working relationship to meet a shared goal. The reason I'm putting so much emphasis on this human partnered with an antagonist Digimon is because I think Ghost Game is up to something. In episode 3, Drakamon was desperate to materialize and to do so through a human partner. He said something suspicious about how if these kids, our heroes, won't help him materialize, then he'll find some other human who will. I love a good Dark Digidestined storyline, and I'm still thinking Drakamon is going to return with a human to help power him up. Now, could it be possible that Daigo partners with Drakamon in the future? Maybe Daigo thinks doing so will help him find Yatagaramon again, or maybe Drakamon tricks Daigo into the partnership by pretending to be Yatagaramon while invisible to Daigo. I'm not sure, but I'll be keeping my eyes peeled on all of this, and I'm interested in reading your theories in the comments below. The back half of the episode takes place at a wildlife conservatory where a bunch of birds of prey are being held. Daigo's plan is to release them as he's been doing with all of the others, but he's confronted by Hito and the gang, who are all wearing their great winter outfits, including Gammamon with a new scarf and Jellymon with his very Christmassy bit of extra layering. Coming off of Adventure 2020, where we really had one outfit for every character, I love that now we've seen Nudie in like 5 different outfits. Whenever cartoons give their characters multiple looks, it just really feels like they're a little more real. There's the scuffle. Daigo puts his hands on Hito, actually, but Nudie switches the scene into that digital field, digital world, and interestingly, Daigo is unable to join them, so this frees Hito. Interesting that Daigo couldn't come, but it makes sense since he lacks a Digivice. Though now he's just seen 3 humans and their holograms disappear, so I suspect maybe if he is a returning character, he's going to become obsessed with the events of this night and want to learn how to get to this digital world / field and meet his Digimon again. The battle against Yatagaramon is a great length, and right in the middle there's this amazingly stylized dark world scene where the team is separated in this black void where Yatagaramon just brutalizes them. They're beaten to a pulp, honestly, and when they break out, Jellymon and Angoramon even tell the kids to just run because they're outmatched. I like that Jellymon and Angoramon tell the kids to run because they see they're outmatched, but it's Gammamon that keeps fighting, not because he's so brave brave or so noble, but more so because he's basically still a baby comparatively and doesn't realize how outmatched and in over his head he is. Gammamon wants to fly and needs to fly if he's going to survive, so an evolution into Kausgammamon is triggered. These forms are kind of like armor evolution, where it's not like Betel was champion form and Gauss is the ultimate. They're just different paths in the evolution line for Gammamon. Kausgammamon and Gammamon are technically on the same playing field. Kausgammamon looks great. I liked but didn't necessarily love the design until I saw it in the show in motion, and Angoramon and the others are teaching him how to fly on the spot, quote, capture the wind and stuff like that. So it's not just a battle against Yatagaramon, but also a battle against gravity and the learning curve of learning to fly. After Kaus gets his wings and lands a few blows, the enemy Digimon runs away. This is slightly different than the Clockmon escape, where that seemed like when he fled it was because he was losing. I kind of got the feeling Yatagaramon was winning until it bailed. Daigo panics seeing his new partner abandoning him and is left asking what he's supposed to do now. Angoramon tries to explain what's going on, which I appreciate because frankly I was pretty confused about why Yatagaramon fled. It's said that Yatagaramon will lead the birds to the Golden City. Rudy comments, but not all birds are following. We see some flying off in different directions. The caged birds yearn for freedom while the wild birds yearn for friends. The birds are free to choose who they're with, while some leave, some choose to live with humans. It means bonds take different shapes. I feel like this is a statement on Digimon, possibly, like the upcoming Digimon we'll meet in the show, and whether they choose to partner with humans or do their own thing in our world with their freedom. The episode ends here basically, and it feels kind of abrupt, but again, keep in mind that we are kind of used to one and done storytelling from Digimon Adventure 2020, kind of following that single story a week formula. But I think Digimon Ghost Game is going for something different, and it's okay for some episodes to just kind of end because it may be part of a larger connecting story. In a few weeks, if nothing is connecting at all, then maybe I'll eat my words, but I still trust at this point that something is going on with all of these Digimon who got away, and now this human too, who somewhat knows about Digimon and the digital world, left having this existential crisis. I think a lot of cool stuff can come out of the aftermath of this episode. We'll probably see the plot pick up in a big way around episode 10. Overall, I think I enjoyed this week's episode around the same amount as episode 6, or maybe a little more. I might have liked it just a bit better, and while the ending with Yatagaramon fleeing confused me, it didn't really annoy me or rub me the wrong way, the same way that Sirenmon's ending did. As always, let me know what you thought by leaving a comment, and if you haven't already, please do me the honor of subscribing so we can hit 20,000 subscribers before the end of 2021. I'm optimistic that it can happen, we're on track, but it isn't going to happen unless folks hit the subscribe button. It's as simple as that. It's the easiest thing to do, it's totally free, and it would mean a lot to me to have that kind of stamp of approval from you. And if this is your first time subscribing, leave a comment, say something like I just subscribed or something like that, and I will reply to that with a personal thank you message. Okay everyone, thanks so much, have a great week. If you haven't heard it yet and you want some chill beats for working or studying or relaxing, I have this 35-minute playlist of songs that I use on this channel as the background music. You can find that on the DigiNote 02, and I'll have a link in the pinned comment and description. All the best, and I'll see you in the next video.